Welcome back to Ask Rad Rat. Got a lot of great questions from you guys last time. I'm trying to combine them into multiple questions into one video this time just to be a little bit more efficient. So the first question for this video is, what is skateboarding's next evolution, both skaters and skateboarders? This is from Astro Skates. So there have been quite a few trends in skateboarding. You know, in the early 90s, it was just doing as many flip tricks as possible. Up until recently, it's just been being able to skate both regular and switch equally. That's been kind of the big trend. You have to show off that you can do everything switch. But what I think is coming next is going to be a little bit different. And it's sort of the lack of a trend. So in other words, it'll be smaller groups just splitting off into different directions. So you see that a lot in the world these days. You know, there's all kinds of tiny little subcultures, people who gather together online and they're really into this one little thing. And I think that that's going to be the next big thing in skateboarding. So if you look on Instagram, for example, you'll see there are accounts that are only about pressure flips and they just repost people's pressure flips. Or another one about no complies, you know, and on, and there's a ton of stuff like that. And so these are going to be communities that grow and people are going to be more focused on these certain things. So what I think is coming next is going to be the top pros are going to be completely unique in their own different ways. So look at Joe Moore, for example. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about his skating in particular, but just his attitude about, you know, he doesn't care about the normal sorts of tricks. He's doing his own thing and he's really good at it. And so, you know, he's going to be out there, but then there's going to be another guy who's really into this or really into that, and they're all going to be really different. So I think, you know, in the future, if there's a guest spot in your video part, it's going to be obvious it's a different guy. So back before, like in the 90s, someone would do a guest trick and it's just a tail slide. And you can't tell that it's not the same dude. So both in personal style and in skateboarding style, I think that's what's going to happen. And as far as skateboards, I think it's going to be the same thing. There's going to be more and more niche companies that are handling certain things. So right now there are freestyle brands out there. There have always been a few for the past 15 years or so. There have always been a couple. But there's also now a lot of old school brands that make, you know, big fishtail boards and all that. And I think that that's going to be what happens. There's going to be more and more unique individual sorts of things, more different kinds of shapes. Everyone's going to be doing their own thing instead of all having the same kind of board, doing the same kind of stuff. All right, my next question is from Juggler1525, and he says, do you get grouped in with stereotypes? You're up to no good, drug using, destructive, and what are your thoughts on these types of skaters? You know, it doesn't really happen to me that much. I don't really look like I'm on drugs in general, but I have had different things happen. Like if I'm out skating with a buddy and it's cold and we have our hoodies up and people are trying to cross the street or go the other way. And you know what? I don't really blame them. You know, how many skateboarders are there out there who either are sketchy and might try to do something, or maybe just on accident. They slip out and the board runs into them or something. If grandma's trying to walk with her walker, she doesn't want to get hit by a skateboard, you know? I don't really blame people for trying to protect themselves, but skateboarders come from all walks of life and they have all different kinds of personalities and stuff like that. But at one time, back when I was in high school, about 10 years ago, there was a big skateboard stereotype. Like everybody had the same haircut. They all wore the same kinds of clothes. You know, they had the hair like down in their eyes. They had it just long enough where it would curl out just a little bit. They all had like, you know, wrist bracers, and they wore that one band Bam Margera was really into. It was like the heart with the star. You know, I forget what they're called. But anyway, they would all wear that, and black and purple was one of the, whatever. But like, if you saw somebody like that, they were a skater and they were probably doing drugs and they were all into all this other kind of stuff. But, you know, there's no reason that has to always be the case. You know, if you skateboard, you can still be yourself. You can still do your own thing. And I think a lot of people kind of get caught up in that, you know. If you ride a skateboard, you have to ignore school and you have to do all that kind of stuff. But that's not really going to work out for you in the future. So, I mean, do what you want with your life, but just be yourself. You know, don't feel like you have to fit in with anybody else. All right, my last question from this video is from Slapaho, whose question is, who did the first 720 flip? That's kind of a tough question. The first one I know of was from Darren Nolan, and he did it on flat around 2005. There's footage on YouTube, and it was uploaded in 2006, but he did it before YouTube was started. I remember at the time, there was another guy who had done it off of a ledge, but the thing about 720 flips is that it's an airtime trick. So I think anyone could kind of fluke one with enough airtime or doing it out of a bank. So I remember seeing someone do it on flat was a big deal. Like, that was the first legitimate 720 flip. I don't know for sure if he was the first. You know, at the time, digital cameras that could record video weren't that common. It wasn't that easy to share footage, you know, before YouTube. So I don't know if someone else out there did it first. It's pretty likely that someone did, but that's the earliest one that I have ever seen on video. If you know of another one, let me know. Well, that's all for this time. Write some more questions in the comments and I'll try to get to them next time. Until then, here are some more videos that I've done lately. Check those out and you might find something that you like. Subscribe for more videos. I do my main videos every single Tuesday and small videos like this throughout the week. Thanks for watching.